There are many eye conditions that your dog can get, and you will often notice that there's something wrong with the eye. It may be that they are starting to rub at the eye, there may be discharge, redness, or they may be half closing their eye, and so you'll not always know exactly what's happened, but normally your dog is going to tell you that they're unhappy or uncomfortable with something going on in their eye. At different times of the year, you can sometimes guess what might have happened. So if they're squinting in the summer and the eyelid looks inflamed at all or swollen, it's possible that they've got a grass seed or something like that in there. Dogs will often tell you when they're unhappy with something in their eye. It might be that they rub at the eye. They may just get their head on the floor and rub the side of their head and their eye on the ground. They may have the eye partly closed. Sometimes it doesn't look as shiny as it should. But it's really important to get all eye conditions checked out, because there are some things where they do need quite urgent attention in order to make sure they don't get any worse. What you can do as a first aider is assess the eye and see if you feel like it's getting any better or worse. And you can quite safely clean eyes just with some cool water, just with some cotton wool or a flannel of some kind. You can clean away discharge. That won't cause any damage to the eye as long as the dog is happy with you doing that. The type of conditions that most commonly happen would be conjunctivitis. This is where you get an inflammation of the conjunctiva, which is the tissue on the inside of the eyelid. And this can happen in response to an allergy, or something being in the eye, or an infection. They will often squint with that, or they may just get like a crusty or thick discharge at the corner of the eye. The other condition that dogs will get will be a corneal ulcer. Now, these are an emergency. Corneal ulcers are normally very painful for the dog, and so they will show some sign of discomfort, whether it be closing the eye or rubbing at it. There may not be any discharge. The eye may look red, and sometimes you can see a little bit of cloudiness on the front of the cornea, and that can indicate that there is an ulcer there. Sometimes you will actually see the ulcer or the scratch that's caused it. Either way, you should get your pet seen immediately by the vets, because ulcers can get worse quite quickly and they therefore become very painful, and in extreme situations, dogs can even lose their eye with an ulcer. The other thing that happens are cataracts, and these are quite common in older dogs. This is just generation of the lens of the eye, and it can look like a white coloration or discoloration within the eye. Cataracts are not necessarily painful, and they don't really bother dogs that much. You sometimes find when it's a little bit dim, when the lighting is low, or at night time, that they're not able to judge or assess where they're going quite as well. And we do sometimes hear that dogs will occasionally trip when the lighting's not very good, but actually it doesn't appear to bother them too much. The other cause of cataracts would be diabetes, and these would be quite sudden in onset, and they would develop quite quickly. These ones, when they become fully mature cataracts, can affect the eyesight. And if it is something that's caused by diabetes, then it should be acted on quite quickly. They would normally have other symptoms with this, so it'd be worth just discussing that with your vet.